The ANC has postponed its National Executive Committee meeting set for this weekend, citing those developments around Zuma. The party says it's deployed some NEC members to KZN to work with the provincial leadership in an effort to try and ease the tension. Now, with only a day to go before the former president is set to hand himself over to police, the question is, will it affect the country and the governing party's political landscape in any way? Let's speak about this. Bring in political analyst Omry Makgoale. Omry, a very good afternoon to you. Grateful for your time. So we've got two delegations from the ANC expected in Nkandla over either today or the course of the weekend. The ANC leadership in KZN has already arrived. NEC members also due soon. What can they realistically achieve, given that this is very much a political matter?
I think the problem is for the ANC leadership, they will try and persuade the former president to adhere to the law of the country. That's what they will try and do. And as to whether they will achieve it, we don't know. But the main assignment for ANC leadership will try and persuade the former president to follow the law, to respect the rule of law, to go to prison as expected, because it's the constitutional court ruling that should be respected and followed by all of us. Equality before the law by all of us.
Will the events of this week, Omry, further divide the ANC? Because it is divided, especially on issues to do with Zuma.
Yeah, it's true. Divisions are there. They don't start now because of this court judgment. The divisions have been there, from Mangaung. When we come from Mangaung, Nazareth was part of it. So the divisions are there in the ANC. The only thing is, this is the critical moment in terms of the court judgment that now, we have to, as the ANC, we have to respect the rule of law, even at the expense of our former president or our former leaders, because the rule of law is more important than anybody else in the ANC and anybody else in the country.
To what extent do you think Jacob Zuma going to jail, if ultimately that's where this will go, would that actually make him more of a martyr, increase his status among his fans and supporters in the movement?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he will get more status. He will be, of course, admired by those who are around Nkandla and some of the young guys who are in the MK and VA. But the general public really will not be, not be inspired by him, because he has not been doing well as a former president, and the issue of the Guptas stands high in our minds. That he handed over power to the Guptas in front of our eyes. We all saw that, and we were not impressed. And so I think very few will actually admire him, after all the stories about the Guptas and the Watsons.
And our reporter Linda Mnisi, who's been in Nkandla for most of this week, has been reporting about the gunshots fired into the air earlier this week. We've heard the likes of Carl Niehaus and the former president's son Edward saying, look, they're willing to go as far as laying down their lives and threatening riots and things of that nature if Jacob Zuma does indeed go to jail. I would imagine then that this is the time for the security services in this country to get to work in the event that something does go from just rhetoric to action.
Yes, it is unfortunate that there were gunshots and so on around Nkandla. It's very unfortunate, because we don't want to see any loss of life for any reason. Loss of life can never be appreciated. So we hope that the people who are in the leadership of the MKVA at Nkandla will see that there's no need for violence, there's no need for gunshots, and we also hope that the police services, the security services in the country, will make sure whatever they have to do there, it has to be done in a peaceful manner, without bloodshed, without loss of life. We don't want another Marikana or another Putazana fiasco, like what happened during the times of Mangupe. So basically, we don't need bloodshed for any reason for anybody to be arrested. So we hope that the police will do their best, really, to, if they have to, but minimized. There shouldn't be any loss of life.
Finally, then, the wisdom of the ANC's decision on Friday to call off its National Executive Committee meeting. And I ask you about the wisdom of that decision because, yes, the Jacob Zuma affair is getting headlines because he's a former president of a ruling party. But South Africa is still in the grips of a third wave of the coronavirus pandemic. The vaccine rollout is sluggish. We've got record high unemployment numbers. So as a governing party, there are other imperatives that require the attention of the ANC's top leadership. So is it really the right decision to call everything off to deal with one man when the country is facing several other crises?
Yeah, I think, in this case, maybe I must agree with them because, you see, the issue of a former president has the potential to bring about blood spilling. And so I think it's important that the NEC attends to it, ahead of other things. Not that the rollout of the vaccination is not important, but you don't want the spilling of blood in that province. So I think the NEC took the right decision because if they were going to continue with the meeting of the NEC, he would attend as a former president also probably the meeting, and probably they don't want to discuss with him about this problem in an NEC meeting. They rather approach it this way by sending the delegation in KZN to go and meet him in private and try and persuade him. Yeah.
All right, Omry, thank you so much for speaking to us on Newsfeed here on Newsroom Africa, Channel 405. Still to come in our coverage, the Zondo-Zuma feud continues with the Commission for, again, investigating state capture now set to file its opposing papers challenging Zuma's last-ditch attempt to avoid jail. We'll speak to the State Attorney, Johan van Schalkwyk, on the Commission's latest response. Don't go away.